Hey, so Craig, thanks for joining us today to talk about this. For the record, your first name's not Craig. Your first name's Brian, but we worked together over a decade, probably of combined time between two different areas. So with that being said, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, like I said, Brian Craig, came up here on SkillBridge. I'm retiring from the Air Force. I've been in 20 years. In July, it'll be 20 years.
Congratulations.
So, due to SkillBridge, I was able to come up here a little bit early and meet my family. So that was great. Originally from North Carolina, enlisted in the military at 18. Got stationed here in Alaska.
So 2005?
February 2006.
Oh, so 2006.
Yeah,
nice.
stayed until July of 2010. Went to Holloman. That's where I met you down there. Stayed there until 2014. Got an assignment back here.
Yeah.
For 4 years. Epcot for another 4 years, and then did an assignment at Eielson, and finished my tour out in Luke.
So you've been working on aircraft for the Air Force basically the whole time?
The whole time, yeah.
Crew chief?
F-15 crew chief, F-22, and then F-35s, yeah.
Oh, wow. So you hit all of the important ones.
I guess.
We'll leave the 16s out. They're on their own.
I know.
A little bit biased on that one. Mm-hmm. All right, so North Carolina, then first assignment was here up to J-Bear, working on F-15s.
Yep.
Right. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I got back then, you would get your paper assignments at tech school, and you were able to trade with anybody. And so I got Alaska, and I was like, I don't want to go live in no igloo. So I was trying to trade the assignment to get Seymour Johnson. Nobody would trade me. What a blessing in disguise, though. I came up here in February.
Yeah, Seymour's no good.
No good at all.
Yeah.
Too close to home, too.
Yeah.
So I got here in February. And I remember it was at nighttime, and I woke up the next morning, and they had about 6 foot of snow outside. I was like, where did they send me? But slowly started to wear on me. I started getting into winter activities and started fishing and hunting, and then I didn't want to leave as soon as I got one summer under my belt. So.
Right. And then they sent you to Holloman.
Yeah,
which is the opposite
Correct.
climate.
Correct.
Yeah, where we met, we were working out the F-22 unit down there. I was doing avionics, pointy head stuff. You're doing crew chief stuff. Yeah. We were both technicians basically at the time, and then expediters there, on and off. And then you went back up here after that.
Right.
Yeah, you got lucky.
Yeah.
They sent me to Florida after Holloman.
Yeah. I thought I fully expected to get to Florida, so I bought another 2-wheel drive car, and then as soon as I bought that, I got another assignment to Alaska.
Maybe that's where I messed up.
You got to jinx yourself for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So what year did you leave Holloman?
2014, January of 2014.
When they stood the unit down, basically.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so you were up here from 14 until... What, 2 years ago, basically?
Yeah, 2 years ago, yeah. And then I did a split assignment during COVID where they were standing up the F-35 unit at Eielson, excuse me, and couldn't get anybody through the border back then, so due to COVID. So I took the split assignment and took my final 2 years of my Epcot in Eielson.
Okay, yeah, nice. Yeah. And then we went to work on F-35s again down at Luke.
Down at Luke, yeah.
How was that?
It was great. Luke's a busy base,
Yeah.
You got I think we're over 150 aircraft, busy flight line, and I think we're like 8 AMUs.
Yeah.
So busy base, busy city.
Tempo.
Yeah. And then city life isn't for me.
But you weren't turning wrenches there anymore, right?
No. I sit behind the desk. Yeah.
Doing pro supering?
Yeah. So started as a pro super, moved a unit to be a lead pro super, and then made senior and took over SEL position in the 308th.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. And now back up here doing real estate stuff.
Start over. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you did a total combined of 12 years here or close to it?
Yeah, it was almost 13. Yeah.
Almost 13.
Mm-hmm. Got very lucky.
Yeah. So, got embedded in the culture of Alaska, hunting, fishing, snowmobiling, skiing / snowboarding, mountain biking, dirt biking.
Everything, yeah.
Side by side. Mm-hmm. What else? What did I miss?
Oh man, jiu-jitsu. Big jiu-jitsu community up here fighting. Yep. I met a lot of good people through that too. And then there's probably not a gym that we go to that people don't know each other because it's a small community up here. Mm-hmm. All the tournaments, you get to run into all your old buddies and pals. Yep.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. So, tell us a little bit about the SkillBridge and how that worked out for you, your process of like getting approved for SkillBridge, and then also like your experience through the Air Force with it.
Yeah, so originally, if you recall, I didn't really want to do a SkillBridge. I wanted to just kind of finish my time out, and contractually, my wife was able to find employment up here a little sooner than what we expected. And so she came up in January, and then I reached out to you like, hey, is that door still open for SkillBridge, right?
Right.
And it was, thank God, because I was actually going through some aircraft companies downtown, which are not very familiar with the SkillBridge program. So I was actually having to sort of coach them on how to open their SkillBridge up.
Right.
So with you, I was able to just, hey, I need my training plan and whatnot. I was able to put it together. Command had no issues. Actually, in the Air Force side, they push everybody to do SkillBridge. So it's what a great opportunity, right? To be able to not worry about your paycheck for a couple months and not, we see in our whole careers where people just jump into a job that hopefully this works out, and then you get stuck, And so SkillBridge is a great opportunity. I never in a million years thought I would do real estate, and here I am actually falling in love with it. So it's working out.
So explain a little bit about like what SkillBridge is and like what the benefits you get from being able to do SkillBridge.
Yeah, so mine was a little outside of the box. One, I was able to get back to Alaska sooner because you're able to PCS to your place to do your SkillBridge for your final move.
Right.
And two, obviously, I have with terminal and everything, you can only max out 180 days. So with my terminal plus commander's days for retirement, I was able to do essentially 4.5 months of SkillBridge,
right?
Which is great because it's a great transition to get your license and to get everything squared away prior to really being to the fire.
Well, and because you get all of your active duty pay and benefits, right, the whole time, right? Because you're not separated, you haven't hit your data separation yet. So maybe gain some momentum. Transition a little bit, get used to working with civilians, right? That's been fun.
Big time.
Like already, you know what I mean? Showing up 15 minutes early is the exception, not the rule.
Exactly.
Civilian world, not to disparage civilians, but it's just a different mentality, right?
Yeah.
But instead of just getting knocked off the side of the pool into it, a little bit of a gradual. And we probably run at our team, we probably run stuff a little bit more structured than a lot of other places, so allow for a little bit more of an easier transition.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's been great for filing my VA fee or claims and all that stuff too. I'm able to leave the office and go handle that. Whereas military, you're constantly on duty, having to do that stuff. So it's just a great opportunity. I'm really glad that the Air Force and DoD has put it in place, honestly.
Yeah, I wish more people took advantage of it.
Same.
Dude, it's super, super helpful. So real estate wise, you mentioned you never saw yourself going that direction initially.
Yep.
But now that you've been through your class, you passed your test, you're in the continuing education and the training portion, like the OJT portion. We're still working on getting your license from the state, but that's just a process. Anything with the government's a process, right?
Sure is, yep.
What is that? What are your goals moving forward?
So I guess the first goal is to get some clientele. Let's get the first agreement under our belt, get the first AREC sign, and just kind of, streamline my process for what do you call it, data pooling and all that stuff.
Just managing all of your database.
Yeah, and then getting obviously my requirements for post-licensing education done, so I don't have to have that hanging over. And then honestly, just trying to essentially get everything stacked up and lined up before my actual separation date.
Right, get that momentum built.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a big step. I think that's one of the things or aspects of SkillBridge that people don't take enough account for.
Agree.
Is that everything takes time, right? So what day did you start class for real estate?
So I started class on the 16th of March.
Right. Okay.
And
so a month ago.
And we're 16th of April now, and I've already filed with the state and everything. We're literally just waiting on the state.
Right. And so you went through the class, got the test passed, and we're waiting on the licensing from the state. But if you were in the civilian world, that 6 weeks, potentially 2 months, whatever it is, before you can even start practicing real estate, to start trying to find clients, to start trying to gain momentum. I mean, they say that you need 6 months of expenses saved up in your savings account, right? How many people actually have that? Right. Let's be completely honest. So those 2 months or 3 months or 4 months from SkillBridge is instance, it can be huge for setting yourself up financially post-separation.
Right.
Because and I've seen it with a couple of previous guys as well as myself when I separated. You'll go through your VA and disability, and you'll go through for your retirement pay, and sometimes there's a 6 week to 2 month to 3 month gap between getting those things lined up.
Right.
So you're gonna have, it's like, wait a second, hold on. So I potentially am gonna have 2 months before I can even start trying to make money after I get out of the military, but I'm also gonna not have retirement in place or disability all the way nailed down. So yeah, they're gonna back pay me. Yep. Cool, but what happens?
Correct. Yeah.
Right then and there. Yeah.
No, taking the SkillBridge, I mean, regardless of which one you go, whether it be realty or just going to the airport, and like for my situation, go to the airport and work for a company,
right?
It gives you high ground essentially, looking for a job, right? Once you get in with a company, show them who you are, and then when you put that resume in, then you're that much closer to securing a good job, which we've seen over the years. Guys just make a jump for the first thing that comes their way, and then they get stuck. And then I'm very blessed to have
Home Depot or something like that, just at the time being. No, I get it. Yeah, definitely don't want to get stuck. Forward momentum is literally everything. And I like what you said about high ground, right? Because it does give you, like, it doesn't place you on high ground, but it gives you 4 months to climb.
Correct.
Right? So that you're not starting from the bottom when, okay, here's a separation paperwork, have a nice day.
Correct, yeah.
And you can keep it moving.
Yeah.
So moving forward with real estate, what aspects of real estate have you fallen in love with? You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, so honestly, I didn't know anything about real estate except for when I bought my houses, right? And it's obviously a stressful environment. I didn't really know all the processes or whatever. And so honestly, what I'm kind of falling in love with is talking to my buddies that have not wanted to buy a house or didn't know that they could even buy a house. And I'm able to tell them now, hey, what about this FHA loan? Do you know about this? Because I didn't.
Right.
I'm able to show them some of the things that I wish I would have known when I was younger,
Right.
Even my family members, some of them are, they've been saving for 10 years. They get their 20% down. Like, hey, there's a way to go around that. Just seeing
the other programs.
Right. Seeing the opportunities that for everybody to buy a house and own their stuff, that it's different. I'm really liking that a lot.
Yeah. It's a big step to buy your own property, right? But people think it's too big of a step a lot of times, right? And it's attainable for most people.
It really is.
Right, it really is. And as long as you do it smart, and like we went to a listing appointment earlier today, right? A guy bought a house sight unseen, had an inspector go through it. The inspector didn't do as good of a job as he probably should have. There were some foundation issues, stuff like that. So there's always like risk, but as long as you're doing it in a deliberate way where you can mitigate a lot of that risk, it's nothing but upside.
Yep.
It's really nothing but upside.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you've owned, 2 houses now?
2 now, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just nice, too, seeing, like, on this side of the fence, seeing all the checks and balances that are kind of put in place for to make sure the deal is right and fair
for the
on
consumer.
both sides and all that stuff, yeah. So I'm actually pretty impressed with the real estate community and how honest it really is to be.
Yeah, they get. I mean, one bad apple, they say makes the whole bunch bad or whatever the saying is. But like there are a lot of very ethical, very talented, very capable, smart people when it comes to it. You just got to make sure you find the right one, right? Okay. And hopefully that's going to be us. Yeah. Moving forward for your sphere. And if not, another thing is, even if we're not in, like, your family's in North Carolina right now.
Yes, sir.
Right. So just because we can't necessarily help them directly on the boots on the ground, you're going to be able to tell the bad apples from the good ones when it comes time for them to pull the trigger, because who you pick is so important, man. Yeah. It is really, really important. Oh, that's fantastic. So moving forward, what are you looking forward to taking advantage of while you're in Alaska besides the work stuff? Fun stuff. Because you just got back here like last month.
Yeah, just got back. Bought a beautiful place out in Houston.
Okay.
It's 5-point-something acres, and so I've got a lot of work to do. Okay. Is what I'm looking forward to. And then obviously fishing season's right around the corner. Yeah. Hunting season. We already get the rigs in, and then some more snow machines to get back into racing next year. So,
are you still racing dirt bikes?
Dirt bikes, yeah. We're still racing dirt bikes.
Motocross.
Yeah. So we'll be starting our first season back down at Jodhpur. Okay. This summer. So looking forward to that. Well, all the kids are starting again. So be good to see that community too.
Got a garage full of bikes ready to go.
Slam full, yeah, ready to go. They're all working.
That garage
right now
is
too.
huge.
Yeah.
It is a giant garage.
Yeah.
So so motocross, right?
Yeah.
You got a side by side.
I got a big boss right now.
Got a big boss.
one
Okay,
day
got it.
Side by side, yeah.
And then the snow machines, dude. You're just motorsports
Moto
to the
yeah.
nth degree.
Right.
Yeah. So out of all the different platforms for like motorsports, what's your favorite?
Oh man, I would say I'm really biased towards dirt bikes.
Okay.
Heavily in the dirt bikes, but
Right.
when I bought my first snow machine up here, it was one of the most humbling experiences I've ever had. You know, I put about 300 miles on my snow machine the first week, mainly in the same spot, spinning, you know, digging out, trenching. So yeah, snow machine is probably one of the best ones. It was harder to learn, and then it's like riding a dirt bike on the moon because you can just go anywhere you want. So snow machine is probably
Okay, the most favorite one.
Yeah.
And you're involved in like the various snow machine racing and
clubs and everything.
Clubs as well.
Yeah.
You got anything that you're looking forward to this winter and participating in?
Yeah. So obviously we got a bunch of races that are coming up, but I think AMMC puts on a bunch of races that I like to go be involved in again.
Right.
If AMMC will ever get back on to Alyeska Motor Madness, that would be a great one to bring back to. And then Scary Tree 50 is going to be coming up where the kids race 200cc snow machines up there. That's a great one.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much the ones that we're aiming at right now.
That sounds like a blast. I want to participate. He talked me into getting my first snow machine, so I got one now. It's on the way. I snow checked it.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. See if I can keep myself alive or if I just dig holes in the ground too.
Hopefully you have better luck than I did.
Yeah, it's a 20-inch wide track, so fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So cool. Craig, thanks for coming in, man. It's been a pleasure, and we look forward to helping you in, getting that momentum and getting you out of the military in one piece.
Yes, sir.